Hello. It is currently 2:30 on December 30th, 2022. Tomorrow is the last day of the year. I thought to close out the year, I would do a little 2022 in review type thing and basically talk about my year, the highs and the lows, and just break it down because it was quite the year. It certainly was. January. Literally nothing happened in the month of January. I started school for the spring semester at my old school. I genuinely looked through my phone and tried to find pictures, videos, anything I could. January just didn't exist. I cannot find any traces of January anywhere. I think that goes to show it just wasn't it for me. I generally just wasn't satisfied with anything. I felt like I was really stuck in one spot. Nothing felt worth driving towards, if that makes sense. I just kind of was accepting the fact that I hated where I was, but I couldn't really do anything about it. I literally would just go to class and come back to my dorm in between every class and just sit in there by myself all day, every day. Never went out, didn't do anything, didn't go to meet people, just sat on my tushy and did nothing all day. I would read a lot and I was getting even more into music. I had that. I was able to occupy myself, but it was just the same thing every single day. And realistically, it just wasn't the best thing for me. Then in February, I met my best friend. She's gonna be in a video pretty soon because she's gonna be here in less than a week. We're gonna talk about how we met, that kind of fun stuff. But basically, she DM'd me on Instagram because she needed a roommate. That was when I was planning on being there for the fall semester. Obviously, I'm not at that school anymore and I transferred in the fall to Belmont, so that obviously didn't end up happening. At that point, I kind of was recognizing that I hated everything. A bunch of tours were getting announced. I didn't have anyone to go to these shows with. The only thing that I ever want to do is go to concerts. And I didn't want to not go to concerts because I didn't have anybody to go with me, or my parents were gonna come with me, or I would have to drag a friend along and pay for their ticket only for them to be miserable because it's not what they would have wanted to see. That kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start buying tickets to these shows and go by myself. And if I meet somebody there, cool. If I don't, oh well. It's up to me to end up having a good time or not. And I was like, I just don't feel like waiting on anybody else. So I started going to concerts more this year, but in February I really was implementing. We're going to concerts and we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. And it was. Pretty much didn't do anything in February. I really did nothing. March, at that point, Kat and I were hanging out every single day. Her dorm was 4 doors down from mine, so I would just go over there every single day. I was generally getting a little bit happier, was starting to enjoy school more because I had somebody to do things with at school, even if we weren't actually going out or doing anything. Just having somewhere where I could go and hang out with somebody was really nice. It made me a little happier at school, made me not hate it as much. Academic wise, I still just didn't really care and I just wasn't feeling it. I started working again in March because I was I have to pay for these concert tickets. I started working a lot and just continued to buy concert tickets it was nothing. And it was so rewarding because I'm someone who hates spending money, but I love going to concerts. So that's the one thing that I just don't get buyer's remorse about. I'll spend money on tickets and be that was it. That was everything that needed to happen. I love it. These first few months were very slow and not much happening. We're gonna get to the chaos shortly, I promise. But April 1st was As It Was Day. So As It Was came out. The next day I saw The Main with my dad. I love them so much. And that was the second time I got to see my girl Charlotte Sands. I love her. That was really fun. I was really happy to be back at a concert. So I wrote, so fun, love them. Next part of this is where it starts to go downhill. I go about my spring semester. It's a normal day in April. It's April 6th. I go to register for my classes for the fall semester. I have everything planned. All I have to do is hit register. I don't have to do anything else. My advisor approved everything. She said, this is great, good for you. This looks good, you're gonna be great. My registration time rolls around. I'm sitting at my desk looking out the window. I hit register and it only lets me register for one class. And I was that's very strange. It didn't let me register for any of my business classes. And I was what the heck? I'm a business major. What do you mean I'm not allowed to take these classes? I try it again, doesn't work. I email my advisor and I'm I don't get it. What's happening? Did you put me on a hold? Why is it not letting me register for the classes that are required for my major? She's I don't know what's going on. You should go to advising. So I go to advising. They say, we don't get it. You should go to the dean. I go to the dean. She looks at me and she says, okay, what's your name? Give her my name. She looks at me and she goes, I've never heard you before. I've never seen you before. I have no idea who you are. I was okay, the school's not giant, but it's also thousands of students, so you probably don't know everyone, it's fine. She goes, so what makes you think that you're in the business school? The fact that I go to this school? What do you mean? She goes, yeah, you're not in the business school. I was like, girl, yes I am, I swear to you. Like, it says so on my records. She doesn't believe me. And she says at that point, there is nothing that she can do to get me into the business school. I literally am enrolled. Anyways, I call my mom. It's something out of a movie. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's pouring rain outside. I swear there was like a drought. It hadn't rained in like weeks. It's pouring rain. I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm like literally heaving. I'm like, girl, I don't know what's happening. She's like, okay, we'll figure it out, but you should probably reconsider the school and maybe go somewhere else. And I was like, no, I just started making friends. I literally was hanging out with Kat every day. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not leaving Kat. I'm finally making friends. I have like a roommate group that's being in the works for the next year. I was really excited. As I'm walking, I see somebody in front of me who looks a bit like my new best friend, Kat. And I was like, oh my God, if she turns around and sees me crying, I'm gonna be really embarrassed because we're not like that close yet. She goes and she opens the door to our dorm building and like turns around to go and hold it to see if somebody's there. And she sees me and she's like, oh my gosh, Maura. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how fast my face fell and I just started crying. I was so upset. So I go to Kat's dorm. I'm sitting in her room on her bed crying and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave. And I was like, but this school is way too expensive and I have lost my patience. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. I had a little mental breakdown, wiped my tears and said, screw that. If I'm gonna transfer to another school, I'm gonna go to the school that I know I need to be at. I do a little bit of research and I come across Belmont and I was like, oh my God, I know Belmont because the drummer of my favorite band went to Belmont and I talked to him about that school at a concert like 4 months ago prior to when this happened. So I was like looking into Belmont, looking at all this stuff and I'm like, Mom, this school has everything I have ever wanted to do. And she goes, you need to apply right now. Literally an hour after I had a breakdown. And I was like, pfft. I applied to Belmont and that was the only school I applied to because at that point I was like, if I can't go to a school that actually is gonna do something for me, I don't know where I'm gonna go to school. Basically, I just wanted to finish the semester at that school and start working even more in the summer and then move to Nashville and like start over. I also saw the story so far that month and that was the first time I crowd surfed. Crowd surfed to Proper Dose. That was pretty legendary, I can't lie. The month of May was a trip to say the least, okay? Mr. Harry Styles decides he's gonna announce One Night Only in New York City. And I'm sitting with Kat once again and I'm like, what are we going to do about this? So we both register for pre-sale. We're gonna talk about this because this is like the craziest experience ever. We have to talk about this in a video, so I'm just gonna give you like the rough version of the story. We both register for pre-sale. She doesn't get it and she checks hers first and she's like, oh, I didn't get pre-sale, like yada yada. And I was like, oh, that stinks. Let me check mine. I got it. So we got tickets to One Night Only, went. It was like the craziest 2 weeks in preparation. We were gonna drive at first, we were gonna take a train, we were gonna fly. Everything was so expensive and we didn't have anywhere to stay for a while. It was chaos, but we pulled it off and it was so fun. That was the only time I've ever seen him live as a solo artist. I'd seen him with One Direction twice, but I hadn't seen him on his own. And it was the craziest experience ever. I get to say that I saw the album the day that it came out, every single song on that album. It was so much fun. The fact that I get to say that I went to One Night Only is like a huge flex. And we went by ourselves, so us pulling that off was crazy. Then June, my birthday, really didn't do anything for my birthday. Then I got my first tattoo. I don't wanna like lift my leg up, so I'll just put a picture of it. It is the current logo for the band Grayscale before anybody gives me shit.
If you don't like them, blah 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 blah, but if you don't like them 10 years down the line, or yeah,
like I don't care. It's on my foot, okay? So like even if that did happen, which I highly doubt, I would never not like them, it's on my foot, so I honestly couldn't care less. People caring about other people's tattoos is so weird to me.
I can never get like an artist or a song or something on my body, like that's gonna be there forever.
Good thing you don't have to do it. I did it, it's fine. Then in June, I was also under a lot of pressure with Belmont because it was just getting closer to when I would have to move and I wasn't sure what was gonna happen and I was really nervous. I was having to save a lot of my money. I was under a lot of stress. I was working long, extensive hours every single day to save my money and it was a really stressful process. Obviously it worked out, but it was the craziest journey ever. Still is, and I'm still very stressed, but we're getting through it. My first semester is done. I feel so accomplished and so proud of myself. Then July happened. July 1st, I saw Big Time Rush. It was something I never thought that I would do. I was getting bagels with my friend and he was like, did you see Big Time Rush is on tour? And I was like, yes, I did. I would so like to go, except I'm working that day. And I was like, you know what? If Paralyzed is on the set list, we'll go. I look and Paralyzed is on it. And I was like, okay, we're going. It was so fun. It genuinely was like a really good show. We kind of went just to be like, oh, this is funny because like we loved the show and like, I don't know, it was like a part of our childhood, but when we were there, we kept looking at each other like, this is actually so good. Even still, we're like, that was a really good show. So I would totally see Big Time Rush again. Like, They were so great. I also saw 5 Seconds of Summer 4 days after that. That was in DC, and that was the first concert I actually went to by myself. So that was kind of scary, but I didn't know like really where I was. It was in DC, so I'm not super familiar with the DC area. And I had parked like almost a mile away. I don't even know where I was parked, but I got lost plenty of times. No idea what I was doing, but once I got inside, it was fine. It was great. Like 2 weeks later, I went to Sad Summerfest. That was my 2nd year going. I love it. I would love to go again. It's a really fun festival. I saw Neck Deep for the first time, and State Champs and Water Parks for the first time, and I've loved them all for years. That was really, really exciting. It was so much fun. And then I just went to the beach. I just kept working for the rest of the month, and then August came around. On August 2nd, I saw Grayscale again. That was my 5th time seeing them in a year. I got to show them my tattoo, which was really cool, and that was honestly just such a fun show, and like probably my favorite concert to this date. Like being at a Grayscale show was like the best thing ever. I just love them so much. So I really just worked every single day until August 18th, which is the day that I moved, and it was like a 14-hour drive, and then we got stuck in traffic, but it was honestly fine. That was the first time I'd even seen Belmont in person. I'd never been to Nashville before, had never seen it, and the first time that I was there was when I was moving. I'm so happy with my decision. Being in Nashville too has also forced me to like really get out of my comfort zone and do things on my own, because I just again don't want to like have to wait up on anybody else, and it's obviously just so much easier for me to do it on my own and like try not to be as scared about doing things on my own. September rolled around. I didn't really do much in September besides just school obviously and working. September was like the big month of adjustment, and I needed to like really focus on just finding my place in the school, getting to a rhythm, and feeling like I had somewhat of a clue of what I was doing with the rest of my life and the rest of my college experience, even though I was only a few weeks in. Then October came around. My friend visited me. I mean, to be fair, she came to visit a school in Nashville, but she saw me and I was like, let's hang out. So she came down. I also got a new tattoo in October, which is this one, 222. I got that one on October 12th, so I've had it for like 2.5 months now. I got that one kind of on a whim. Like I had no real plan to get it done, and then one day I was like, I'm just gonna go and get it, because why not? And I've been wanting that tattoo for like years, so I was very excited to get it. 222 means like everything's aligned for you. You're where you're supposed to be in that moment in time. I love angel numbers. I think it's so fun to like see something like that and look at it in a positive way. I've been seeing a lot of it lately. I got this tattoo. I see it, it still feels like I'm seeing it for a reason, because it's in just a weird spot, and I would never think to just be like, let me check on this right now. November, I went to 2 shows in November. The first one I went to was on November 5th, and I saw Charlotte Sands. That was the first time I saw her headline, because this was her first headlining tour, and it was so fun. I did VIP, so I got to talk to her. She gave me like words of advice, which was so fun, and I just love her so much. And it was so cool. Like I had such a hard time not just pouring my heart out to her and being like, I love you and your music so much, thank you for everything you've ever done, because I just feel like that's so overwhelming for them. But at the same time, I was like, I just want you to know how much I just appreciate you and love you. And she was just so sweet. I got a really cute picture with her after the show. A week later, I saw the 1975 for the first time. I've been wanting to see them for literally years, I think since like 6th grade, which was 8 years ago. This year was definitely the year of like me seeing artists I've wanted to see for a while and finally getting to see them and having a great experience. So that happened in November. I also got tickets to see Taylor Swift in November. I'm seeing her twice next year, which I'm like freaking out about. I'll put pictures of me when I like found out about the tickets. Then I came home for Thanksgiving. It was like 2.5 days. I felt so overwhelmed and stressed out because I was home for 2.5 days and needed to see as many people as possible. And I just felt super stressed out in those 2.5 days. I feel better now because I'm here for 2.5 weeks, so it's a little bit different. But really the only thing that I have from November is my French toast that I ate that was quite literally the best breakfast I've ever had in my life. So then the month of December, we made it. It's been a whole year. December 4th, I saw State Champs headline and I did a whole video about it, so I'll put it in the card. Like probably my favorite video. I love them so much. They're so sweet. I just had so much fun. There are so many clips of me like just enjoying the show, and looking back on it, it makes me so happy to like see myself so excited over that kind of stuff, and it makes me so happy that I don't let anxiety and like fear of doing things on my own stop me from going to concerts. I might not be able to order food for myself, but I will go to a concert by myself and like have a conversation with the artist and not care about anything else. I also got to meet Between You and Me afterwards at their merch stand, so that was really fun. Then I was just doing school and like studying a lot, getting ready for finals, and that was fine. Came back for winter break, surprised Kat at school. Got to see her. She's gonna be here in a few days, like I said. It was Christmas time. Christmas Eve was great. Christmas Day was great. Then the day after Christmas, my cat died, so that'll put a damper on your mood. My cat died I like don't know how to talk about it. Everybody's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? And they're like, your cat died. And I'm like, I know, but like, I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, so I had to put my cat down the day after Christmas. She was like 14 though. She lived a long life. Pretty sure she died of a ruptured tumor. We don't need to like get into details. But oh, that happened. Rest in peace, queen. Love you the most. Miss you. Like, I don't know I've never like experienced death before, okay? I have no idea what I'm supposed to be feeling right now. So the only thing I can do is like make jokes, because I just don't know what else I'm supposed to be feeling. I've never done this before. It's not fun though, I don't recommend. So that was my 2022. It was honestly going really well until my cat died. So yeah, 2022 definitely had its lows, definitely had its highs, but I'm really excited for 2023. I've like never really been this excited for a new year. I just feel like I have my head on straight and I know exactly what I want to happen next year, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen. That's all. You don't have to listen to me speak anymore. I sound sick as heck. I'm so sorry about it. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good New Year's Eve, a safe New Year's Eve, a good, well, New Year's Eve already happened by the time you're watching this. It's going up on New Year's, so I hope you have a great New Year, and I will see you in 2023. That's so cheese, but like, see you there. See you when I see you. Bye.